And to get things started, let's start with a truism. I'd say many, if not most, if not all, research consulting companies in the world through their own sort of endeavors with clients have identified that cloud is indeed a major item on the CIO agenda today as a top priority. Now, my question to you is this likely to continue being the case in 2012 and beyond? Now, I'll, for the sake of convenience, start from the furthest.
Yeah, it's Kevin O'Connor, New York Stock Exchange. I mean, cloud computing is quite a misunderstood term, I think. I mean, in answer to your question, will it figure prominently? Absolutely. Will it have successes? Absolutely. Will it have failures? Absolutely. I think I would start with from the perspective of trying to work out what the problem is you're trying to solve. So in terms of cloud computing, where some people use it as an abrogation of responsibility, infrastructure is all the same, we don't need to get involved in that, we'll just stick it in the cloud and somehow it'll come right. It's a little bit the logic we saw in the dot-com bubble. You don't need to have real economics in your business, it'll all somehow make money. But having said that, in the areas of particularly vertical clouds, where you have clouds with particular offerings for certain market segments, or where you need to deal with unpredictable capacity, I think cloud absolutely will play a key role.
Okay, thank you very much. Next speaker down the line.
Hi, good morning, Ian Alderton. So is cloud a priority? Yes and no. I think from a business perspective, I think the main priorities are around business growth in the current markets, how can I bring more revenue into the market, channel proliferation in terms of social media, mobile. It's around being more optimal with your capital, your real estate, your infrastructure, and also controlling expense. But I think underpinning those priorities, I see that cloud will be a phenomenal enabler. I think cloud to date has been more evolutionary than revolutionary, but I think now the timing is right. And the current climate, talking to my CEO, they are looking to take cost out, and I see that cloud will be a key, if not critical, enabler for that journey. Okay, thank you. Joe?
Yeah, so I think cloud's an interesting one because essentially all you're doing is you're looking at the evolution of IT from being a product phase to being the service phase. That's pretty much it. You're turning whatever it is, and that seems to be the all-encompassing cloud, is the turning product into a service. I think where a CIO is going to make a difference with cloud, and where cloud will continue to be on the agenda, is you're now forced to compete in ways that you haven't had to before. So as a CIO, traditionally, you've almost been the sole provider, which is a nice situation to be in. And now your customers, the business, have got a chance to understand that there's other options available to them that may not involve you. And some people are finding that. So I think the way that as a CIO you continue to keep the agenda on cloud and how it's going to head forward is not looking at, okay, how am I going to evolve what I do from a product to a service, but how am I going to evolve from a responder to an innovator? And I think a lot of the successful actions I've seen around cloud in organizations so far hasn't just been, we're going to cut costs by virtualizing and moving to an infrastructure cloud. It's using cloud technologies. I found out a cool way to innovate with the business and actually deliver some business value, not just some cost savings, and that's the great big thing to do.
Okay, thank you. David?
In terms of the, yes, is it there? Three panelists have covered that pretty well. In terms of the so what, I think that's the question that CIO should be asking is, does this fit the requirements of the business I'm in? Am I going to get the levels of assurity that I think Kevin alluded to earlier, that means that we continue to deliver the service which protects ourselves, our clients, our customers, our business base, because there are some risks involved, particularly if you take that idea of the dot-com, you're no longer responsible, it'll all be okay. My view is it won't be, because something will come and hit, and it might not be on the technology side, it could well be to do with information surety, could well be to do with service provision, where suddenly something goes down.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all of you have effectively reflected back the point that As far as a priority is concerned, of course, yes, it is a priority, but it sits in a slightly more complex context than just a straightforward solution for an organization, full stop. And understanding the context and the objectives are a priori the crucial thing to fathom. So if I can start again with yourself, Kevin, the idea here about your own organization. How has cloud manifested itself? How has it brought benefit in your particular organization's context?
I've come across the cloud in multiple different, different roles even. At the New York Stock Exchange within NYSE, I mean, there's quite a lot of stuff where we can't host it externally on the cloud. Latency matters hugely, performance matters. We used to measure in milliseconds, we're now down to microseconds. We're now measuring latency in the hundreds of nanoseconds. So in a situation like that, cost is less important, reliability is important, clearly. Reliability you can get in the cloud. But a lot of cloud offering, and I'm not saying all, because I want to focus specifically in one area here, is you don't need to know where it happens. If you're trying to trade in Tokyo and your processing is happening in South America, you're going to have a severe handicap. So we use less cloud offering there. However, my part of the company, and I don't want to give a sales pitch, I mean, NYSE Technologist actually has a cloud offering. In fact, VMware is a very successful partner of ours. And one of the things we do there, and again, I'm not giving a sales pitch, it applies to other industries as well, is it's a cloud offering which has value-added services. So if a firm is just looking to aggregate responsibility, hand out their IT, get someone else to do it, our offering and people like us would be the wrong solution. If you're looking for something, you say, I'd like an environment where I can get market data, risk management, low latency, market proximity, high availability, not very price sensitive, then we would be a solution. In a different space, if you take Salesforce, I would consider that a cloud offering. It's not just cheaper, it's actually better. It offers capabilities and integration capabilities which you simply don't have if you have your own system. So for us, the cloud is not a cost-saving measure. It's really a way of bringing multiple complex services together in a way where our clients and ourselves don't compete in the areas we don't want to compete. We can commoditize those services, and then we can differentiate in the areas where we want to go head-to-head. So it's not an abrogation. I mean, one of the takeaways which I give to CIOs with cloud computing, it reminds me of my background in South Africa. I mean, we used to refer to hammer mechanics. And we used to say, hammer mechanic's a very dangerous guy. This guy comes to fix your car, and the only tool he's got is a hammer. So everything looks like a nail. So he's walking around your car looking for nails. We need to make sure we don't approach cloud computing where it's your hammer and you apply it to everything. You need to work out what problem you're solving, and then what cloud means for you, and then apply it appropriately.
Okay, so I think those are some very apt comments, and actually just picking up on the fact that we have another representative from the financial services industry, maybe we can hear some interesting comments that would paint some of the differences between these two fundamentally financially oriented environments. So what's it like at RBS?
That's a conversation around the bar, but I think in terms of cloud, I see cloud very much as the next, I guess, stage of the journey from utility computing, grid computing, on-demand computing. So it is more evolutionary. I think to date there's been successful forays in terms of test servers, putting that out there where data isn't critical. It's something that we can put out onto the cloud and very comfortable with. When you start moving up the value curve, there's still some key challenges that need to be overcome, such as data security, privacy. How are we as an organisation comfortable with that kind of proposition? But I think where Kevin alluded to, I think there's definite opportunity is looking at some of those vertical offerings in cloud, such as CRM systems or core banking systems. So to use an analogy, in the marketplace, we've got new banking entrants coming in. If you're a new entrant, you say actually a core banking system for me is not a differentiator, it's a commodity. And I just want to put that in a black box. Right. If I'm comfortable with the data and somebody has a cloud offering, I can provision that, flick of a switch, and it's done and dusted. And I can then focus on the differentiation of maybe time to market, cost, and customer service. So it's happening, and I think there's a lot more appetite. My generation,
generation.